Shit. Nah. Yes. There we go. I think I put it on correctly. Let's use these for a month and see the results. First of all, I would like to say these two things. One, I am not a professional, I am just a customer who bought a product and is now sharing his experience and opinion on the product. I cannot say with certainty how effective this product actually is. I cannot give you numbers or studies that says this or that. Secondly, it is not fair for me to give a review because I am only giving you my opinion and experience about them for 4 weeks, 28 days in this case. It is not so smart to review something in the world of fitness for such a short period of time, but I don't think anyone will ever do such a thing. Right? So I have to come back to it after a longer period of time has passed since I started wearing them. So now onto the product. I will tell you what happened in the 4 weeks I had them on. I'll go over the most important parts of each week and what day it was. Week 1. I had them on for 30 minutes a day, and on the first day it was very weird and awkward to have them on, and I had to adjust them many times to make sure that they were staying on. What I noticed while I had them on was that it felt like more blood was going through my feet, and that both my, holy shit, how do you say this? Gastrocnemius and soleus felt more activated, and they were being stretched too. But despite what it sounds, it is meant in a positive way. It feels like my feet are getting adjusted back to how feet are supposed to be. On day 2, every time I walked around, they ended up being placed wrong on my feet. I did not have the same feeling as the first day I had them on while sitting. I thought that they would be more effective if I had them on throughout the day and not all at once. I noticed on day 2 my little toe was the one bending the most inward of all my toes. On day 3, I experienced that my muscles were not being stretched, but after I took them off, it felt like I had them on for a longer time. The problem would be that my feet would just go back to what they used to be after I took them off, and that I was wearing my shoes for a long time. But I feel that I'm starting to have control over my feet. On day 4, I experienced the same activation and stretching in my lower part of my legs again. I think that only comes if I have my shoes on for a long period of time. On day 5, my 3 toes in the middle are starting to spread out more, but my little toe and big toe are still bending inwards. On day 7, I could barely move my toes from one another. What was most important is that I could feel blood going through my legs more effectively, and that muscles on the side of my hips were also getting more activated and loosened up. I also feel that I had more control over my one leg squat and the way I was hopping around. Week 2. I will have them on for an hour. On day 8, I had them on for 30 minutes and everything was normal. Then I went to school and came home again to wear them for another 30 minutes, and it was the same feeling I had on day 1, just to a smaller degree. Even if there was a long 7 hours time period in between those 30 minutes, it felt like I was wearing them in one go. I was experiencing pain under my right foot, but wearing them helped me make the pain go away. And in a weird way, this is when I could start to grab the floor more. On day 9, I had them on with almost no break time in between. In the beginning, I had the stretching feeling, but shortly after it went away. And again, I started to move my feet better and have more control over them. On day 10, I had them on without taking them off, and the feeling I had in the right side of my hip, I've just experienced in my left side now. It is almost as if my feet getting set back to a more natural state helps the rest of my body be stronger. On day 11, after having shoes on most of the day, it feels nice to have them on again. When I looked at them that morning, I noticed that my toes were pointing inwards, but now my little toes are starting to not be so close to my other toes. On day 13, that is when I started to notice that in the mornings, all my toes were pointing inwards, but after I had them on, for the time I was doing, they would go back to normal. On day 14, it felt that this week went a lot faster than the previous week. The biggest problem I would have would be to find 2 hours to have them on, and it really shows. I could do one leg squat for 7 reps, which I was honestly surprised by because it felt that my lower part of my legs was playing a role now in helping me grab the ground. Week 3. This week I'll have them on for 2 hours. On day 15, of course I could feel it the same way like I had them on for the first time, but it was a little painful in my little toe, and in my right foot it didn't hurt, but I could feel it a lot. Now comes something new. I could feel air go through my feet when I didn't have them on. On day 18, I tried to experiment with my feet strength and control. So I was playing around and tried to grab a stick 2 different ways. First way was to grab it with all my feet, like my feet were my hands and fingers. The other way was to grab it in between my big toe and the toe beside it. I was starting to feel and see that I was becoming stronger. These things which I'm doing right now, I could never do before without having to have them on. On day 20, when I was almost done, I could feel my left knee loosen up. Other than that, nothing new, which always happens the last couple of days at the end of the week. Week 4. Okay, on week 4, I can tell you everything that happened in a couple of sentences. 1. It's nice not to worry about time. Like you can just have them on and not time it or look at the clock. 2. I could feel more often that air would go through my feet. 3. All they were doing for me now was just to adjust my feet back to normal. After I had my shoes on for a long time. So let's go to the conclusions. So, after wearing them for 28 days, can they really help you with your fitness goals? Well, I don't know. The main goal of wearing them was to increase the blood flow through your feet and make them healthier. If that was your goal, then yes, they do work. But like I said and will say, to judge a product for such a short time is not how one should judge anything in the fitness world at all. Fitness is a lifestyle, not a short-term goal. Also, the majority of my training I did was at home due to lockdown where I live, so I couldn't directly see if the numbers on my lifts were going up or that my form, speed, power and all those things were going up too. But despite what I'm saying, I still think that people should buy and use these, even if they don't train. The reason being that this product may not help you add 40 kilos or in cheeseburger 90 pounds to your squat, but it will definitely help you. Think about these 2 things. How often do we wear shoes? I guess most of you wear different kinds of shoes all day long, depending on if you're at work, training, or partying. You will wear different kind of shoes for these different types of settings. And normally, shoes push your feet inwards because of how little space there is at the end of your feet. I remember not a long time ago, me and my grandmother were talking about this product, and she showed me her feet and how inward they were because of all those shoes she has been wearing for all those years. So it sounds like a good idea to make your feet point the opposite way too. Secondly, most of our lifts require us to stand on our feet, so why not train and help them too? If you're going to buy these, start with 30 minutes the first week like I did. After that, you can slowly build up to wear them for longer periods of time. Do be careful and listen to your body when you wear them. I will recommend that you do your process a little bit faster than mine, but then again, I was just experimenting for this video. I will also recommend you to go and watch Squad University's videos on this very product, since he is actually a professional and will give you an explanation as to why they work. And as last, I would like to say that this product is not an end-all, be-all. You should still focus on your training, your nutrition plan, your sleep, your consistency, and what you would usually do to improve and reach your goals. Like I said, even if you don't train, I still think they can help you and make you feel better, because they sure did help me feel better.